Hey guys, so we're here at Universal Studios Florida to unmask the horror. Yes, we are going to be some of the first people to see 3 of the houses for Halloween Horror Nights. This is an extra ticketed event. It roughly costs about $100, depends on the day, but we're going to be going in, checking out 3 of the houses coming to this year's Halloween Horror Nights. We're going to be able to take some photos, no videos of course, and just experience them. So I'm so excited for this. Let's go. And so we begin our journey just outside Universal Studios Florida, over here at the old Blue Man Group / Nickelodeon Studios just area. And so like I said, this is an extra ticketed event, so you don't need admission for this. You just need the Unmasking the Horror Tour ticket. And we're gonna go inside, we're gonna check out 3 of the houses. We do get a guide that will explain the houses for us, look at all the little details, and all of the lights are on. So we're gonna be able to see and experience this thing in its beauty. There aren't gonna be scare actors, of course, but still, we're still gonna be able to experience and just admire the art that it takes to build one of these houses. Alright, so normally you do go down that pathway towards Blue Man Group / Nickelodeon Studios, but today there's a special event, so we're gonna actually end up going past one of the most hidden icons of Universal Studios. And that is a piece of the Berlin Wall. Yeah, kind of random, and for whatever reason hidden down some dark alleyway. Okay, so we're all checked in. Like we said earlier, there's no videos or like anything that we can take while we're on the tour. We can take photos in certain areas. And so we're gonna be taking the photos, we're gonna be enjoying the time, and then we're gonna talk about it afterwards back in the office. That tour was incredible. Like, I honestly went into it thinking maybe this is gonna spoil it. Like, I don't know, let's just do it just to try something new this year, and it's worth it. Like, I could honestly see myself doing this every single year. We were able to take some photos of the houses, so we're gonna talk about the houses that we did walk through, as well as just this experience overall. So let's head back to the office. All right, we're back in the office. Let's talk about these houses that we just experienced. Mild spoilers ahead. So Universal was very particular about which rooms we could and couldn't take photos in. They just wanted to preserve some of these big moments that we're going to experience in the house when Halloween Horror Nights starts. And so the first house that we went into is the Museum Deadly Exhibits. This house takes place in the Museum of International Folklore and is themed and set accordingly. So you actually enter in by walking into the lobby of this museum. And they have a new exhibit called the Rotting Stone. This stone is like the embodiment of evil and starts to just expand and take over this building. And the building itself becomes almost like a living entity. And so this museum as a whole is based on international folklore. So the exhibits inside are based around different folklores of death around the world. And so you actually start off in the first section with the Mesopotamians. You go through like a Japanese folklore area. You see like old Russian folklore tales just all coming to life. And this stone has given them life and has come after you. Like I said, the museum itself is the evil entity. This is going to be an absolutely beautiful house. One of the cool things for this year, and every year, they hide an Easter egg, and this year's Easter egg is actually a snail. And so this is going to be the first snail and the only snail I'm going to show you guys. So you kind of know what you're looking for, but as you're going through the houses, especially if you're a Rush of Fear or Frequent Fear Pass holder, you're going to be wanting to go through these houses over and over again, and it's like a little fun game for you to play, so we can find these snails around these houses. I absolutely love the art style in this house. So one of the designers for this house is the same one that brought us the Blood Moon Rising from last year and Dead Man's Pier from the year before, which were easily one of my favorite houses, like some of my favorite houses that have ever been made. And that kind of creativity and just design theory is in this house as well, and it looks stunning. I can't wait for it to come to life. And so you're traveling through these different exhibits and exploring these different folklores from around the world, and it comes to this huge culminating event of seeing the stone. And so the stone itself is also a living entity and will have will come to life. Will come to life is what I'm going to say. And so it'll actually be like an embodiment of evil, and as you leave, you see other depictions of evil around you. Now, the next house that we visit is Slaughterhouse Cinema. Admittedly, we were not able to take a lot of photos in here. This is going to be a house with multiple B-list movies. So this is Universal's homage to B-list movies, which was the foundation of the Universal Production Studios. And so, like, some of the examples we're allowed to show was the first room with this evil jester. So you actually come upon to an apartment complex off of like Bourbon Boulevard, or sorry, I've never been to Mardi Gras before, but basically an apartment overlooking the main street of Mardi Gras, where an evil jester has come in and just started murdering people. It doesn't really explain why. Again, this is B-list movies. The plot lines are very, very random. So, speaking of very, very random, the next room that we were allowed to show was this spelunking cave where they had dumped the toxic waste from the Bugs house into, and there's been explorers going through the cave, and they discover that this was apparently a burial ground for clowns that have now come to life. Again, the plot lines for these things are really crazy. They're far-fetched, and I mean, that's kind of what makes a great B-list movie, let's be honest. And yes, there are other stories that happen in this house as well that you're just going to have to wait and see. They're pretty epic. Like, Slaughter Cinema is probably going to be one of the best houses here. And there's a reason why Universal doesn't want to spoil it, because there's going to be some fantastic moments that are going to blow your mind when you go through Slaughter Cinema 2. Now, last but certainly not least, the last house that we were able to visit was the Triplets of Terror, which admittedly, when I first saw this being announced, was going to be, I had pretty low expectations for this. But after walking through this house and understanding this story, I can't wait to see this house come to life. So if you're a true crime fan, this is the house for you. So this is actually following these three triplets that are serial killers from the perspective of a true crime enthusiast, and like following their thread and seeing their kills. And so you actually start off by their very first kill when they're 9 years old. The story begins in their home on March 3rd, 1984, during their 9th birthday, and you come upon this extremely gruesome scene. The triplets have actually murdered their grandparents and their father, and you see this scene unfold at the table. The name of the triplets are Melody, Harmony, and Junior, and they have very unique personalities and very unique killing styles, which you'll see throughout the house. And so you actually jump forward in time after you leave this room to present day 2024 in Cradleton, Pennsylvania. I love the way they like presents modern day times with like iconic things like this live, laugh, love sign, or just like modern day appliances. One of the key threads that you're gonna see throughout this house, especially in 2024, is a smart device, and you're actually going to hear it be activated and used throughout the house to really ground you in 2024. The other thing too to keep an eye out while you're in the house is the symbol of the triplets, which looks like this M, but actually represents their various sizes and heights together. So it's the three individuals together. And so on this day, they go through this town of Cradleton, Pennsylvania, and just wreak absolute havoc. It's gonna be a really, really gory house, so if you're not a big fan of gore, just be prepared. This one is gonna be very gory. And ultimately, you come upon their hiding place in the sewers, and you see that they've recreated their first kill, that birthday party. And so their whole like mentality behind it is just recreating that first kill. in honestly the most gruesome way possible. Like, it's this one I said is going to be really gory, but I just love the rich storytelling behind it. It's not just we have serial killers that are just serial killers. So this one's going to be really cool. Like I said, this one I ranked pretty low when I first heard about it, but I'm so excited to see it when it finally comes to life and we have the characters and all the elements in play. And so my final thoughts on Unmasking the Horror in general. So it was pretty controversial having Unmasking the Horror happen before the event even started. A lot of people were worried about the spoilers, right? And so, like, I understand, like, I'm showing you guys photos of this, and it's kind of spoiling some stuff, but at the same time, I do appreciate the attention to what we could and couldn't share in order to maintain the surprise of Halloween Horror Nights. And also, I feel like there's a way to do it, and I'm hoping that I'm accomplishing this. This is my intention, at least, is to show these things to you in a way that gets you excited for the story. Like, I hope that you come away from this video just excited to experience these 3 houses and maybe understand them just a little bit more, especially since these were original stories. It's not based off of a movie that you could just go watch or see. This is basically the only way to learn other than watching the podcast is by watching videos like this. And so I do appreciate that attention, as well as experiencing it myself for the very first time. It makes me appreciate the art form, as well as the production value and the hard work it takes to build these incredible houses. And I can't recommend this enough. This is perfect for those of you that appreciate the production value. This is perfect for those of you that have heard of Halloween Horror Nights and maybe have seen even Kirk and I's videos and covering everything from the years past, but maybe are a little too scared. This is the perfect way to experience it in a way where you can still appreciate the production and maybe even take your first step into a house without being scared. And it's a really, really phenomenal experience. I paid roughly like $100 for this. The price does vary as the season goes on, so don't quote me exactly what the price is when you book it, but for me it was $100, and I think it's fair. I think it's a really fair price. They go in depth into these houses. My guide, Erica, she was phenomenal. Shout out to Erica if you're watching this. You did a fantastic job explaining everything and just bringing the story to life. And so if you did appreciate this video, definitely hit that like button. We'll be there on opening night. I'm going to be there all opening weekend. So stay tuned for more Halloween Horror Nights content. And yeah, I'll see you through the fog. Peace.